Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mass Appeal on this Veterans Day. Today, all show long, we're going to be commemorating veterans who have fought for our country. You know, the first Veterans Day was in 1919. It was proclaimed by Woodrow Wilson, and it was called Armistice Day back then, and now it's Veterans Day. And today, we are live in Springfield. We're with an organization called Rebuilding Together Springfield, and we're going to show you some amazing things today. This house that you see behind me in Springfield is currently getting worked on by dozens of people, and the best part is it's being rebuilt and renovated for a veteran. That veteran's name is Charlie. She did 2 tours of duty, and she's joining us right now outside of your home.
This is my home, yes.
Now, first of all, we want to thank you for serving our country. You did 2 tours of duty.
Yes.
Tell us about them, if you don't mind.
The first was in 2003. I went to Kabul, Afghanistan as a military police officer as a kid. We did military police duties. We did presence patrols. We did QRF, which is like quick response forces. If anything happened, we would be there quickly.
And then after you came back, and then you bought a house, and then you got called back to active duty. Where'd you go your second time?
The second time I went to Al-Assad, Iraq, as a military police officer then as well. We worked with the Iraqi police force. PTT, police transition teams, helped with any and everything, trying to help train. One of the big things that I did, I worked with a gentleman named Colonel Khalil, and his main issue, if you can imagine, is ordering supplies for the police station, and you order it from the top guy, and once it comes down to the bottom, 99% of it's gone.
Really?
It's been stolen, it's been siphoned off, the diesel. You order 100 tires, you get 1. So they had a lot of trouble making sure their trucks were usable because they'd only have 1 tire to replace, or just simple things that we take for granted.
Absolutely. And then you came back home after you served your country twice, and you were out. And then you struggled, and you bought this house, which is great, and then you reached out to an organization called Rebuilding Together Springfield.
Yes.
Tell us how you did it and why you did it.
I did it in a panic.
Yeah.
And I did it on a very easy to fill out application. I had an issue with my heating system a few years ago. I used to have radiator heat with oil, a monster heating system, and a few pipes burst in the ceiling in the kitchen. The system was done. So I got a pellet stove as backup, assuming that I would be able to fix the system at some point in time. That didn't happen. Had the pellet stove for quite a while, and then it was used so much that the part that you put the pellets in the top that's not supposed to catch on fire caught on fire. So I then had no heat for the winter, and in a panic applied to these wonderful folks in a whole lot of other places, and everybody just kind of said no, 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 no.
But
and
they
then
said yes.
They said yes, and by the time that I had, Ethel actually called me and said, "We're in the neighborhood, can we stop by?" By the time they came by, I had a heating system put in, and I said, thank you for getting back to me, but I've got the heating system." They said, "Oh no, we've got more plans for you."
And this is what the more plans are.
This is what the more plans
It's amazing.
is.
You should see all the amazing things that have gone on to this house. There's been painting. There's been, the tough stuff that people can't do themselves. So all show long, we're going to show everybody a little insight to your house. We're going to give people painting tips if they're doing it at home. But we're just going to have a lot of fun today, helping you out and celebrating with you and commemorating all the veterans on this Veterans Day. And speaking of... Welcome back to Mass Appeal, everybody. It's Veterans Day, so we are commemorating here in Springfield. We're with Rebuilding Together Springfield. It's a great organization that rehabilitates and rebuilds houses for so many different people. So we're with Colleen Loveless. She's the executive director. This organization's been around since 1992, and since 1992, you've done incredible work. Tell us about it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Seth. It really is truly amazing. We came to Charlie's house back in September with a group from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and we painted the outside. You might be seeing some of those photos when that group of volunteers were here that day.
And we had, those photos from the beginning. And the house, it needed some love.
Yes, and Charlie is so well deserving. She worked so hard in the community. She served in Iraq and Afghanistan. I know you heard so much about her. We're so happy to serve her. You always get back so much more than you ever give. And we are able to help veterans like like Charlie, all year long. We work all 12 months of the year.
And it's not just veterans, too. You're saying you have a stack of applications so high. It's people with
elderly,
disability, elderly people, so many different people that you're helping.
Exactly. So, you know, they can go to our website at rebuildingtogetherspringfield.org. They can help a veteran today by making a donation to us, because we can help more veterans here in the city of Springfield that are really in need. We try to make homes accommodate them when they come home with any disability modifications, so they can stay in their home. They won't have to move. We make the home safe and healthy, and grab bars, railings, especially for the elderly, ramps if need be. But we'll do anything to home, fix a leaking roof, and from anywhere from top to bottom. So, and we do that, and we leverage it 4 to 1. We preserve affordable home ownership, and we revitalize the community. And we can't do that without a great group of volunteers, too. We've got Fran Beaulieu, who's on our board of directors from Beaulieu Home Improvement in Chicopee, and he's got a great crew of guys volunteering, working on this house.
I've seen him.
Materials,
He's been here since we've
early,
been here.
way before.
He donated so much materials. So many people are here working on the house today. And there's so many ways that people can help your organization. How can they do that?
Well, you can volunteer. We have an annual signature event called Green and Fit in April, and it's always the last Saturday in April. We get over 1,000 people on one block. We work on 25 homes. Whew. And we're really in need of donations for that. We're going to be participating in Valley Gives Day on December 10th of this year. You can make a donation that day. You can also make a donation anytime on our website at rebuildingtogetherspringfield.org. And you can also sign up for our email list, so you can find out about volunteering and when our April event becomes available, because we need everybody from people planting flowers to making sandwiches for the volunteers to doing the roof, so, and everybody in between. So
you don't have to be able to wield a hammer to help out an organization like this.
We have people come from Maine to all the way from New Jersey every year. It grows every year. We've had anywhere from as many as 5,000 volunteers in a year, over a course of a year, and we work on approximately 50 homes per year. But we also do other things too, nonprofit facilities and playgrounds improvements and community gardens, and we encompass the whole neighborhood and the entire community to really make it safe, healthy, and strong.
Well, you're revitalizing a community, and you're doing it with the community. It's so nice that people can do that. Now, we're going to take a look at some of the pictures of the porch area. We're going to see it in our next segment together.
Okay.
But what's the plan? Because I know the Boylard crew is here, so many other volunteers are here. So what's the plan today? What do you hope to get done to Charlie's house?
Well, we're here with skilled volunteers from Beaulieu Home Improvement, and they're putting gutters so we don't get any leaks or water underneath, which would cause mold, make the home, you know, unhealthy for her. And all brand new gutters. They had wooden gutters, which of course are rotting.
You can't have wooden gutters.
Right. Doing some repairs to the flashing around the chimney. They're also painting the front porch. Charlie's painting alongside everyone. And the inside of that porch, some electrical work that was really unsafe. She had a little electrical fire that's being taken care of. And she's in school to get her social work degree, and so we're happy to make her an office. She was starting on her own and didn't quite have the carpentry skills and the construction skills to finish it off, so we're happy to be able to give back to her and to serve her.
Us, exactly. And that's what we kind of talk about, and we do on Veterans Day. These people, millions and hundreds and thousands, they've served us, and they've preserved our freedom. So the least we can do is give back. So one more time, if people want to get in touch with your organization, how can they do it?
You can volunteer, you can make donations, and you can go to our website at rebuildingtogetherspringfield.org.
There you have it, rebuildingtogetherspringfield.org. Now, when we come back, we're going to give you some painting tips, just in case you might be painting a house on your own. But once again, rebuildingtogetherspringfield.org is where you go for more information. Welcome back to Mass Appeal. We are live in Springfield. We're at the home of a veteran that's being rebuilt by Rebuilding Together Springfield. It's a great thing. But now we're going to give you some painting tips. So if you're thinking about doing over a room in your house, you can do it relatively easy. So we have Fran Beaulieu here. He's the owner of Fran Beaulieu's contracting company and home improvement. So we're talking painting tips, but we're talking during the commercial break. Preparation is key, is that right?
Preparation is absolutely key. Like any type of home project that you're going to be doing, the prep is the key, especially painting.
So we're going to prep in a little bit, but first I want you to tell me why you got involved in Rebuilding Together Springfield.
I actually sit on the board of directors with Colleen Lovelace, and I kind of was looking around. I did a little bit of Habitat for Humanity, and this was more geared towards what we actually do, and it's more into remodeling type of stuff.
And it's great, too, because you're helping elderly people, disabled people, and veterans, people who have helped us and lived such great lives. And now you get to give back a little bit, which is
Absolutely.
great.
We want to give back. And this is, like I said, it's a perfect marriage. We get to give back to veterans today. Today's a great day, being Veterans Day. Disabled, the elderly especially. We do probably 60% of our work is actually for elderly people. So I'm happy to give back.
And you and your crew, you're doing so much today. I know we have some pictures of what the ports used to look like,
Yep.
and so far it looks so much better. But the first thing we need to do is set up some tape. Now, why are we going to tape everything off?
Well, because you or I couldn't cut in nice and clean, so we're going to get it on all materials that we don't want to get it on. So typically, you're going to use a good blue tape, which is going to peel really easily. You're going to be a little bit particular about making sure that you cover everything.
See, this is where preparation comes in, because you don't want to mess it up.
And then you really want to make sure you push it in. That way the paint doesn't get up behind the tape.
Now, how important is primer? Do we always need to use a primer when we're painting?
If you're not sure if you need primer, prime.
Okay.
But generally, your priming is going to help that latex paint really bond much better.
Now, we're doing this area.
Yep.
Is there a difference when you're doing interior and exterior painting?
There's different grades of paint, absolutely. Sure, the preparation is going to be a little different. It's going to be a little bit more finite on the interior. You're going to want to make sure that you caulk all your joints on the interior, because if you have a black line after you paint with white paint, it doesn't look so good.
Now, we have some right here. So, in other words, what we want to do is if we see a divot or anything, we want to put this material in that divot?
You're really going to want to try to paint on where two surfaces come together. So this has already been caulked, but you're going to want to do something like that along your joints, or anywhere where there might be a joint where there might be a black line after when you paint. You don't want to see any cracks.
Make sure it's seamless.
Exactly.
Then the next step, you come in with the paint. What do we need to do so that we don't get that lined look to a paint job?
Well, a good quality paint, number one, will lay a lot flatter.
Is it worth the money for good quality paint? Always invest?
Yeah, you don't want to buy the best. Live in the middle.
Okay.
Live in the middle is what I typically say. Just good, solid, continuous brush strokes, looking that you don't scrape up against anything, because you'll leave paint lines. And basically, like anything, taking your time is the key. Take your time, prep well, and you're going to do a great job.
Now let's talk about cleanup. How do we clean these brushes? So
most of the paints today are going to be water soluble. So just a good get yourself a little bucket, or if you have a slop sink at home, you clean them out. Again, the cleaner they are, the next time you go to use them, they're going to be ready to go. If you don't clean them so hot, you're just going to throw them away.
Well, how about you finish taping that off? I'm going to start painting.
You got it.
Thanks so much for all these tips
You're welcome,
and for the
Seth.
work you're doing to
Thank
this
you.
house. Once again, Rebuilding Together Springfield. .org is the organization. We're finishing up the show. We are live in Springfield, and what you can see behind and all around us, this is going to be Charlie's new office space, a multi-purpose space. And in case you didn't know, this is the organization is called Rebuilding Together Springfield, and what they do is they build they rebuild homes for the elderly, for veterans, for people with disabilities. Do you ever sit, at the end of a day when they're working on this and imagine what this is going to be like when it's all done?
It already has transformed quite a bit. So I didn't even imagine, even the little details, it's already beautiful compared to what I had done to it. So
but you did a great job.
I can't imagine what it's going to look like.
No,
I can't wait.
It's so nice that we have organizations like Rebuilding Together Springfield, because you've given so much to us. There's no way that I could even put into words what you've done for our country and for people like me who could never even dream of going to war. So we want to thank you, and Rebuilding Together Springfield is just one of the ways that you can do it. So keep up the good work. We're all so proud of you. And not only is today Veterans Day, today it's the season of giving. So no matter what you can, if you don't have a lot of money, you can give your time. You can do what so many people here are doing and volunteering their time today. It's so easy to help. All it takes is you saying, I want to help. So that's all from here. RebuildingTogetherSpringfield.org is the website. Charlie, thanks once again for the service for our country. If you want more information, RebuildingTogetherSpringfield.org. But I'm going to toss it back into the studio.